Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Senegal. Welcome to our interview series, Behind the Byline, where we get a glimpse behind the curtain of the fantastic writers who contribute to our team. Joining me today is Grace Trumpfeller. Hi, Grace. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
We'll start off real simple. What got you into the world of content marketing?
It's been a very long journey, actually. I've always had this natural love of storytelling. I've loved to read, loved to write for as long as I can remember. And I was dead set on being a journalist. That's actually what I went to college for. I was in newsrooms, I did a little bit of broadcast, and then by chance, I happened into a branding class my senior year of college. And everything just kind of clicked in that I could use storytelling in such a different way than I had ever imagined. I graduated, I worked at a traditional digital marketing agency for about 2.5 years, really honed my skills in SEO and learning different tech and kind of the business side of things. And then in 2019, I went solo and I haven't looked back since.
It's amazing. Do you have like a certain topic or subject that you like to cover the most?
I really love various aspects of health and wellness. So whether it comes down to, running a general medical practice and the software behind that, speaking to different kind of medical conditions, even like things like aesthetics and kind of the prettier side to things, really things that connect to consumers on more of a head-to-head kind of level.
That's awesome. What tools and techniques do you use to conduct research and gather insights about the topic you're writing about?
I think I always start with a basic Google search, which I think sounds kind of silly when you first say it out loud. But I always kind of scan those first few pages, see what the general industry consensus is, and also to kind of make sure that you don't become victim to that copycat content where everyone's repeating the same things over and over again. So then I always like to take a different, deeper dive, and I'll go into things like, say, if it's health and wellness, like different medical journals, see what professionals are saying, see what that verbiage is like, and kind of the more industry conversational take. And then I'll even go onto things like Reddit, see what the first person point of view is for different topics. And, you can find a lot of gems on there. So I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that. Yeah. And some weird things. But, and then I even like platforms like Quoted, which is kind of like an alternative to Harrow, where you can interview or get quotes from various subject matter experts. So if I'm not as knowledgeable in a certain topic, I can get a very good first point of view that lets me know that I'm tackling something from the right angle.
That's awesome. How do you stay updated with the latest trends and developments in the industries you work with?
I think social media has really helped. For instance, LinkedIn is great. I always follow with my clients on LinkedIn, see what they're up to, but I'll also take a look at their competitors to say, oh, okay, I see that this is a new technology that's entered the space, or this is a new angle that people are taking. Even something like Twitter, you can kind of watch certain hashtags or follow certain topics, and social media moves so fast that you're kind of bound to keep up with the current so long as you're watching your clients and watching their industry.
Is there anything you do to adapt your communication style when working with different customers or industries?
Yeah, for sure. First thing I always like to do is look at a client's internal branding guide because they'll always have tips for how they want themselves to come across. And if they don't, you can kind of ask, okay, so listen, do you want to be more authoritative, more friendly, and things of that nature? And then from there, I think something that a lot of people don't think about, but I find makes a huge difference when modifying your voice and tone for different clients is something as simple as grammar. Knowing when to use an em dash versus a period here, or a semicolon, or italicizing or bolding certain words for emphasis, it can really take a piece from being a lot more formal into being a more conversational kind of piece. So I feel like depending on who your audience is, what your client is, something as simple as kind of tweaking your grammar and knowing when to use a bit more of a colorful adjective will really help kind of match that voice and tone better than if you would have just stuck with your normal go-to grammar and your normal go-to kind of verbiage.
Switch gears a little bit back onto yourself. When you're writing for yourself, like what draws you to a specific topic?
I find that when I don't have the answer to something, I'm far more inclined to want to dig into it. Of course, we all like writing about subjects that we're knowledgeable about, and I can crank out a piece about digital marketing or content marketing. And it's always interesting for me to keep up with various trends in my industry. But when I don't have the answer to something, that digging in research process is almost a bit more fulfilling because I'm almost educating myself along the way. And I find that pieces end up being so much more informational when I'm learning as I go. And then I'm able to also break this information down in a way that's far more digestible for someone else because I'm kind of taking this process with you. Like we're both learning together kind of thing. So as long as I'm not like fully versed in something, I'm like, this is interesting. Let me dive into it a bit
That's awesome too that you can take away from you learn something along the way, and that's usually what most customers want. They want the reader to learn something after reading the article, so that's fun that you can also learn something as you write it. So it's kind of like a double-edged
more.
win for
Exactly.
everyone.
Yeah, it's like a win-win. Everyone's learning. We're all informational here, and it's fun because you never expect to have this like vast like I have so many fun facts that I mean I consider them fun facts. I don't know if everyone else would. But that you just kind of get this running list of things that from working across various industries, or if you're touching like various SaaS products and getting all of these technology terms, but then I'm writing about facials and you have this like well of knowledge that you can always tap into for various situations, and I find it makes you far more relatable as a writer, but also just as a human being, like being able to just have conversations with people of different walks of life because I've dug so deeply into your industry even though it's not what I do. And I find that it's a way to connect beyond just the content writing and the marketing side of things, but on the human aspect as well.
Yeah. Do you have any article you wrote that resonated with an audience in a way like you didn't expect?
I did. It was actually a ClearVoice client. They were a mobile app that actually promoted different types of intermittent fasting. And when I took the client, I really had it in my head that I wanted to take a very scientific angle to it, especially with the way diet culture works nowadays and social media. I didn't want to come about it from a way of you need to lose weight versus how to make, heart healthy decisions or bettering your sleep and staying hydrated and things of that nature. And it was a really fun client to work on. And the byline was very specific that I was just a content writer. Everything was always looked at by like a dietitian or a clinician or something of that sort. But literally years later, to this day, I have people reaching out to me on my personal email, on my personal Facebook, being like, I saw your name attached to this article. Can you please give me tips on how to lose weight, or where should I start on my diet? And I would have never anticipated when I wrote the piece all those years back that it would continue to come up like that. But I, to this day, have people reaching out, and I'm always, if it comes through on Facebook, I'm normally kind of like, maybe not. But normally via email, I'm kind of like, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm not an expert. Like, talk to your doctor. Like, it's great that you were able to find me, but I would have never ever anticipated when I wrote those pieces that they would continue to pop up to this day.
No, that's amazing. I want to switch and get a little bit more personal and a little bit,
Yeah,
we'll talk, yeah, we'll step a little bit of away from the journalism aspect. But you
sure.
did share with us that you have a love of houseplants. Can you
I
tell us a
do.
little bit more about that hobby and how it has helped you achieve a good work-life balance?
Yeah. I love plants. It was something that started with like little succulents, like Home Depot tiny cacti and things of that nature. It's just nice to get out of the house for a while, even if it is just walking around your local nursery or something as simple like as a Lowe's or something like that. And then COVID hit, and like everyone, I fell deeper into a hobby, and mine just so happened to be my love of houseplants. So my collection has grown quite a bit. Um, but it's wonderful for me because I find that as content writers, as marketers, we're on technology all of the time, whether we're on our phones, looking at social media to keep up with clients, or we're writing, or we're researching. It's just a lot of face to screen time. And I think having a love of plants, it's getting myself out into nature. It's touching grass, literally, and touching plants and just kind of slowing down for a little bit and pouring yourself into something else. And like my work, it's something that is equally as fulfilling because the more time you dedicate to your collection that you're growing or nurturing something back to health, you actively get to see those results over time. And so I have a problem with buying them? Yes, probably. But I like to tell myself that it's, purifying my home's air and contributing to the beauty of everything. So
Cool. So, Grace, what are your future goals or aspirations as a content writer and strategist?
my main goal is I would love to continue being independent. Being a freelancer is something that's my own business owner is something that's very fulfilling to me. I also just love being able to network with so many awesome people. I think I have far more opportunities to connect and explore various avenues independently. I also think in terms of future goals, in this era of AI and chat GPT that we're living in, something that I've kind of made it a point for myself is to really make sure that my clients and the individuals that I work with really understand the importance of a human element in your content marketing, and that maybe large language models aren't the answer to just replacing your content marketing. So I think being able to connect on a more personal level with the people that I work with and even just other people in the industry, and saying that there's ways that you can use various emerging tools in ways that benefit you, but to also understand the importance of content marketing, understand the importance of the human beings behind your content marketing and the relatability that that brings. That's something that's very important to me as an individual, that as I continue growing my career and remaining true to myself, that I continue in, I guess, a sense, educating, but also just forging those relationships in ways that are natural and continue to push marketing forward.
That's amazing. And I think that's the best part of, freelancing and the work that you're doing. Not only can you be your own boss, choose what's right for you, but then also take new avenues and wanting to, be more of the educator and kind of skewing, changing your career for what's ever working for you. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I love the flexibility that it brings, even just, being able to have time to go and visit family and travel, but also being able to maintain an entire workload. It's very fulfilling and something that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Oh, awesome. Well, Grace, it's been so nice getting to know you through this. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back with more interviews with these dynamic writers and industry leaders. To learn more about our amazing content specialists, visit clearvoice.com.